Okay, in this video, I'd like to talk about Hurricane Ian or Hurricane Ion and how it was a weather-modified geo-engineered disaster fueled by the powers that be and your taxpayer dollars to wipe out Florida as payback for what the governor's doing there regarding the migrants and all the moves that he's been pulling, and to all the people that moved to Florida from California and other states. This is payback, and this was a deliberate engineered event. It's just another cog in the wheel to break the system. On the 30th of September, the Vatican called in all its liquid assets to be returned to the Bank of the Vatican. Days later, the Bank of England almost collapsed, and they're being propped up by $5 billion per day because they're underwriters for a lot of these insurance companies in Florida and in the United States. And once all these claims start piling in, it could sink the whole system. Because you have to keep in mind this, that the insurance companies are over top of the banks. It's not the other way around. The insurance companies are higher than the banks. They're running the system. So, this is a big deal. 3 years ago, I was in southwest Florida during Hurricane Dorian. Dorian was another engineered storm that hit the Bahamas, and they steered up the coast because they didn't want it to hit Miami. Because Miami is the money side, that's the expensive side of the state. Miami's their crown jewel. I knew they weren't going to let it hit Miami. So when I was down there, they started fueling that storm up with chemtrails because all the chemtrailers that were on the west side of the state, at about the middle of the week, they took off and started fueling up Dorian, and then they came back after the storm and started spraying again over West Florida. So it's the same maneuver that they pulled with Katrina, where they go in and steer it for the lower income part of the state, and then they come back, the federal government, and buy the property for dirt cheap. Because Katrina was a fuel-modified steered storm. Once you get a hold of the high pressure in the system, you can control these storm fronts to go wherever you want them to go, using the chemtrail spraying and the frequencies. So they showed what they can do, because the military back in 1995 or 96 stated that they will have full control of the weather by 2025. And they're just testing their system to see what it can do and what it can't do, and how they can change it to perfect it. You've seen this in Dorian. They stopped Dorian over the Bahamas at 0 miles an hour. Now, no hurricane naturally just stops and stays there churning. They wanted to cause as much destruction to that lower income area so they could come back and build it again. Because that's what they do. They cause the problem, and then they come back with their so-called solution. And all the insurance money that went through there and all that stuff it's the whole same situation that you're seeing in Florida right now. I knew this was going to be a big storm when it was Tropical Depression number 9, and I knew that that was going to be the one that they were going to fuel. And they steered it exactly where they wanted it to go. So they're doing the same thing here in northern Michigan. I watch them daily with their weather mod, and I have 3-foot high concrete pyramids that I have in my yard. I have 2 sets of them, so there's 2 vortexes that are being created from these concrete pyramids that actually break up the chemtrail and their cloud banks. So I'm remodifying what they're modifying here in Michigan. So I know exactly what they're doing and what to watch for. And I was watching all the cloud banks in Florida while the whole thing was forming, so I know exactly what's going on. So I just wanted to make this video to make everyone aware that might not be aware of this. This is what's going on. This is repercussions for what the governor was doing in Florida and for all those people that fled to Florida and for the whole state. And now they're going to come in and build it back better. Just ask them. So thanks for watching. If you haven't seen my other videos, please check them out. I hope everybody in Florida is doing alright. Thanks.